Welcome, Super Souls, to the Moon Magic Tarot channel. In today's readings, we are asking, what is the next step on your journey, on your pathway? What can be illuminated in the light of the full moon? Today, the day I'm recording these, is the full moon, the super full moon in Sagittarius. And we're going to draw 3 cards. We're going to do 3 readings and a rune and a charm for each one. And we are asking Spirit for guidance. Seeing very, very clearly, actually, already this card coming through, and this one as well. Okay, so the full moon, the super full moon in Sagittarius, what is going to be illuminated? What is the next step on your journey? So reading number 1, you have the card of expansion. I'm seeing the light of the camera showing. I hope you can see that okay, guys. You have the card expansion, educate your mind and senses. That's going to be reading number 1. Reading number 2, wow, third eye vision. Reclaim your mind. Ooh. Okay. And our last card, emotional challenges, resolve the issue. It's very interesting because, of course, emotions often run high at a full moon. It's really sort of known to be quite emotionally charged, quite an emotionally charged time. Okay, so let's see, what are the runes we're showing? So reading number 1, you have strength, so expansion and strength. Reading number 2, third eye vision, reclaim your mind, and you have the rune of gateway. Reading number 3, emotional challenges, resolve the issue, and you have the rune of initiation. This is like a rite of passage, interestingly enough, so, or sometimes even a rebirth. Let's draw a charm as well. So reading number 1, you have the lucky horseshoe. Wow, expansion, the lucky horseshoe and the rune of strength. Oh, I'm going to say a lot more about this when we get in the reading, but this is just, I'm buzzing already. These readings are very, very exciting. Okay, and the next, we have a beautiful feather. The rune of gateway, a feather guiding your pathway. Interesting. Third eye vision. I feel like you're going to be shown signs. Rune of gateway, third eye vision, and the feather. And lastly, for reading number 3, we have, oh wow, we have the tree of life. That is beautiful. So emotional challenges, the tree of life, and the rune of initiation. So super souls, this is the time to just press the pause button if you're not sure, or just fast forward to whichever reading or readings are speaking to you. The timestamps are in the information box as always, and in the comments as well for phone users. Tons and tons of love on this amazing, beautiful, stunning here in the UK, stunningly sunny full moon, super full moon in Sagittarius day. See you in the readings. Welcome to reading number 1. You've been drawn to the card of expansion, educate your mind and senses. We have the rune of strength and the lucky horseshoe. I just feel like everything is inviting you to move forwards and to expand. It's as if the universe has your back. The rune of strength for me always feels like that. It's like, it doesn't mean you're moving forwards fast, but it means that progress is going to be made, that things are going to move forwards. I always feel it does always feel as if the universe has my back when I draw this rune. So super souls, I'm mega excited for you. I'm going to draw a spirit animal guide to see what energy is around you. First of all, butterfly rebirth. Wow, you can reinvent yourself, open to the rewards of change. You have brilliance to share with the world. Love every part of your journey. Okay, now I'm actually going to place this one here. Okay, let's move our beautiful little crystal ball. and place that card right at the top. Okay, so literally there is an emergence here. That looks good. Okay, there's an emergence, there's a rebirth, there's something. What really sings to me from this card is you have brilliance to share with the world, because I feel as though there is something that you are being invited to bring forth. It's like breaking through that glass ceiling, moving beyond a limiting belief. Now today we are asking, Spirit, what is the next step on your journey? Educate your mind and senses. So, reading number 1. Let us see what we are shown for reading number 1. King of Hearts, Healer. Okay. We have Ace of Hearts, Love. 9 of Hearts, Stability. Wow. 2 of Hearts, Union. Okay. This is really interesting because I didn't see this primarily as a reading that was connecting to relationships. You know, this feels like expanding your mind, breaking into new horizons. But it is interesting because there is connection here to relationship and steady progress. 9 of Hearts. I mean, look at this. It's all hearts. King of Hearts, Ace of Hearts, 9 of Hearts, 2 of Hearts. Super Souls, I'm just going to zoom the camera out a tiny bit to give us a little bit more room. So I think we might want that. If I can do that, I'm going to see if I can. My mouse is not working very well. So actually what I quite like to do is move that card up here. Yeah, that feels really right. Let's move this over. And push these up out the way a little bit. Those are our other readings. Gives us a little bit more room because I can see we're going to draw quite a few cards for this reading. And actually a handful of runes as well. I'm feeling really excited to do that. What is really coming through very strongly here is I feel like you have actually found love within yourself. That's what's really coming through. You've found love within yourself. You've refound that. It's like you've refound your own internal compass. You know, we get knocked off balance so much by life, and of course all of these things are life lessons for us, so you know that's okay. But it is as if you have, in fact I actually do feel you have been in a space of retreat for a while, and I don't mean retreat running away, just retreat whereby you've been stationary or taking some time to either recover from something or just like making that still time. You know, not having as many connections with people, or you've withdrawn from maybe a social setting or even withdrawn from a relationship in some way. But that period is coming to an end, and your spirit team are really saying to you, the next step on your journey is to expand. It's to step through, step back into the world, be of the world, because you have something brilliant to share. And in essence, it's like you are the brilliance that needs to be shared. Now, if you are looking at this reading because there is some aspect of relationship around you, it's time to embrace everything you want within a relationship, whether it's a new one or whether it is an existing one. Because actually, the universe has your back. You're on track and luck is with you. I feel like it's like the energy of almost Jupiter is sitting here. I feel like Jupiter and Venus have got together and the planets are aligning for you. If this is a project or something that you are wishing to bring into the world, particularly if you have been contemplating taking a step into some aspect of learning, particularly around any of the healing arts, you know, whether that is Reiki, counselling, any form of mind, body, spirit, soul, emotional, psychological healing, then now is the time absolutely to take that step. The universe is with you. You're going to be supported, guided. Things will fall into place. The next step is to move into something that will enable you to expand. If you have retreated after a challenging relationship, it's now time to get back out there. But embrace exactly what you desire. You can reinvent yourself. Open to the rewards of change. You have brilliance to share with the world. Love every part of your journey. I really do feel that the universe has your back, reading number 1, and it is absolutely right for you to step forth. Let's draw more cards and see what else we're shown. In fact, before I draw from the another tarot, I'm going to draw some oracle cards. Okay, well, look at that. For starters, moonlight. And here we are in the light of the full moon. That's pretty magnificent. Cleaning house and storm fields. Okay. Right. So here we are. The energy and the light of the full moon is wanting to illuminate your pathway. I want to say the timing is right. And you see in this card here, see this little hourglass here? It's like the timing is really, really right for you to expand. The timing is perfect for you to take that step back into the world, or in some aspect of your world, whatever that is for you. Storm fields, you've come through and out the other side. And it's time to clean your house, you know, like spring clean, energetically. Get out there, take a risk. Be the best you can be. Know that you're through this. These really have, I say these, the storm fields. You've had a really tough time, but it's actually given you a lot of learning. And it's actually the learning that you've, from the experiences you've had, you know, you were forced, not forced, but you chose ultimately with very, very clear intent and with a very powerfully good and aware state of mind to in some way retreat from something. And it's now time to move forwards. This is behind you. You've learned from the experience. I mean, this is why your guides, your spirit team, your angels are sort of saying, look, I want to say, I feel like they're saying, you know, we're really proud of you. We're really, really proud of you. You've picked yourself up from some things that other people would have really struggled to pick themselves up from. But you've picked yourself up, you've nurtured yourself, and now it's time. I say you've nurtured, you've worked, you know, you've worked at healing, and now it's time to move forwards. You are really embraced in love, and love is with you. I do feel you have tackled something and you've come out of this with some self-esteem. You know, I think whatever happens in a situation, if we do the right thing, if we take right action, whatever anyone says or does beyond that, if you know you have taken right action and you know you behaved honourably, deep, deep down inside, at a level of soul, you just know you did the right thing. And it's that bit inside of you, that knowledge inside of you, that is your strength. It's like you've become that tree, which even when you had to sort of retreat and look after yourself to recover, you put down roots. Your strength is in your roots. It doesn't matter what's above the ground. What matters is that strength. It's like, it's just, the strength is in your roots. You see things very, very clearly now as well. You have developed discernment and you see things with clarity. You know that you can ask for what you need, and you know that you're not asking for more than you should be. You kind of know. You know you're deserving. This is definitely behind you now. It's time to spring clean and get out there. This is the next step. Expand, take that step. I love the educate your mind and your senses. So there's, you know, it may be that there is a pathway of learning to embrace, and now the timing is so right for you. Okay, so we are asking reading number 1. More guidance, please, on, you know, where they are going. We know the next step. Ooh, okay, we know that the next step is to expand, but can we have more information? Ah, this is good. This is good now. I'm going to have trouble here finding enough room for your cards. Okay, let's just put these here and move them along. Okay. These 2 cards are particularly important for us at the end here. We have the 3 of Swords and the card of Justice. Look at the balance coming in here. We have, you know, we've got these, you know, weighing up cards here. Okay, this is quite interesting really, because what I'm really seeing is you needed to retreat and back away from a situation. And we've spoken about that, and now it's time to expand and go ahead and move forwards. Absolutely, the timing is right. The universe has your back. Luck is with you. Love is with you. It is time to move forwards. If it was a challenging relationship, circumstance, situation, whatever it was, it's time to expand and move forwards. It really is. That's your next step. Your spirit guides are rooting for you, and they are proud of you for picking yourself up. The information we're given here is really, really interesting. So we have Queen of Discs, 6 of Swords, and the Hermit. We have 5 of Cups, 7 of Swords, 8 of Cups, 3 of Swords, and the card of Justice. Okay. What I want to say to you is that the situation you came through, and this will, you know, perhaps it won't apply to all, you know, but this is a general reading. But you really have picked yourself up from something that was really quite big, actually. And I think it took a little while. It was only when you kind of backed off that you sort of realised the enormity of it. You know, when you're in something, you're dealing with it. You're kind of like hitting the ground running, and you're actually just batting back whatever comes your way. You're navigating everything because you have to. And I don't think you really realise the enormity of what you had to walk away from, or the enormity of the impact on you until you backed away. And you've actually been processing this. What I want to say is, for those of you, and this message may apply to some but not all, but actually someone actually treated you particularly badly. They really were in it for their own ends. You know, they were a taker. That's what I'm really seeing very clearly here. Somebody kind of took from you, almost with an expectation. There's almost like a feeling of arrogance or ego around it. And it really left its mark. For some of you, it was actually quite unexpected. You didn't see it coming. It was almost like they got you on your blind side in some way. You've processed this now. And what I want to say to you is, look, justice is coming. I mean, I am really sorry that this situation happened, because there are people in the world who are just takers. You know, they do take. They don't think about others. They're very selfish. They're very self-orientated. You know, there are a lot of narcissistic people in the world who just take without thought. Well, this is really interesting, because I feel like, you know, justice is coming. You don't have to deliver it. it's almost like your guides and your angels as well are saying, look, you don't have to be involved in this. You don't have to deliver this. What you need to do, and this is the next step on your journey, reading number 1, the next step on your journey is for you to emerge and birth yourself into the world. You can share of your learning, share of your experiences. I think you are going to be drawn into some aspect of healing work. And certainly for those of you that have perhaps had this challenge within an intimate relationship, the doors are opening for new love. But most importantly, the next step is to expand, take that step, get out into the world. You are supported and you are loved. New horizons are coming to you. I just want to say that whoever treated you badly, whatever the circumstance or the situation, that the people responsible for that, I just want to say justice will be served. You don't have to even be involved in it. Okay, it's like on a karmic level, you know, whatever they've been putting into the world, it's going to come right back at them. I really feel like there's some aspect of justice coming. I think they're going to be held to account in some way. You know, whether you are part of that or not, I don't know. For some of you, I think not. For some of you, the message is very clear. You've walked away, let it go. They literally got you on your blind side. You didn't see it coming, walk away. You know, the retribution or whatever, the consequences of their actions will come to them. And at the end of the day, it's helpful for us to view the situation from a position of love and recognize that people who act very, very badly are actually very damaged. You know, we can't fix them. It's not our job to fix other people, but ultimately things are going to come back into balance. If you are in some way involved with somebody and you're winding yourself out of something, then I still just want to say justice will be served here. So reading number 1, your next step is clear. Step out into the world, step forward with confidence. Any aspect of healing work that involves learning or, you know, entering into some new phase of learning, absolutely go for it. I'm going to wrap up by drawing some more runes. The first one, we have the rune of harvest. We have the rune of ice. We have the rune of signs. And we have the rune of the spiritual warrior. Lovely. Okay. So the rune of harvest speaks of a cycle, which is really interesting because we have the card of moonlight. And this is about natural cycles. Whatever seeds you are now sowing as you rebirth yourself into the world, it's if you start a course, for example, or you sign up to a course where you are enhancing your learning in some aspect of healing, for example, you know, this rune speaks of a period of natural cycles and often of a period of a year. So it's suggesting that the seeds you sow now are really going to come to fruition, but you need to invest in them. You know, like a farmer, when we sow seeds, if a farmer, he's got to till the ground, or he or she has to till the ground, sow the seeds, and then nurture them and look after them and water them and tend to them, and then you get to the harvest where like just abundance flows in, because you really are opening a pathway of abundance here. The rune of ice. The rune of ice suggests a standstill. And it's very, very interesting the position that this rune is in, because with the rune of signs and the rune of the spiritual warrior, I feel very clearly that you're being shown that at every step of the way, your pathway will be lit. You may not yet see the exact goal you have in mind. So you may be looking for a course, but not be exactly sure which one to take yet. The way will be shown. Take your time. The rune of ice suggests stand still, but sometimes it literally invites us to stand still, to take our time, to pause, to look for the signs. Signs, signals, synchronicities. You're going to be shown exactly what you need to do step by step to move through and forwards into this pathway of abundance. The rune of the spiritual warrior speaks of discernment, cutting away the old. So I think for some of you, what I'm going to say, and this has some relevance, so bear with me, but I have a library. It's a totally free library online. It's the A to Z of emotional health. It's www.azemotionalhealth.com, and I'll put the link in the information box and comments. Now, this is a resource. I worked as an accredited counsellor for over 28 years before I moved into more spiritual work, and it is a resource that is full of information to help navigate transition and change. And in the library there is a section called The Psychology of Emotion, and there's a couple of audios in there. One is called The Wobble of Change, and the other is called The Sadness of Moving Forwards. And the reason I'm voicing this is because what these runes are telling me is that as you move into the world, you know, and this is about being prepared. As we move into the world, inevitably, like, you know, if you've had a really tough experience or some tough experiences, and your guides and your spirit team are really saying they're really proud of you, you've picked yourself up from something that was really big. And, you know, they are just kind of so proud of you for doing that. And I can really feel how hard that was. And so what's being said here is that as you step into the world, understandably, you know, when we step through the door into the world, we're bound to feel vulnerable. And the timing is perfect for you. If you're looking for a new relationship, you're going to feel vulnerable when you meet someone, because you're going to be fearful. Gosh, will that happen again? Now, I don't think it will, because you have developed discernment. You know, you've got strong roots now within yourself. You know that you can ask for what you need. So you're in a position to navigate from a very different place now. But inevitably, when we step into the world, it's quite natural to have a wobble. And also to sometimes have a little bit of a wave of feeling that is it's like a melancholy because something didn't work out. Okay, and this is really natural part of transition, and I feel that we're being shown this here. So, but you have discernment now. You've grown. So I voiced that about the library, because if you find yourself having a bit of a wobble, there's sometimes let's say a danger as such. But if we feel vulnerable, we can translate that or interpret it as thinking, gosh, I'm doing this too quickly, or the timing isn't right, or, you know, I feel so vulnerable, I've obviously made a mistake, I shouldn't be in the world, I shouldn't be applying for that course, you know, that kind of stuff. Actually, this reading is saying, yes, you should. This reading is really saying the timing is right. The next step on your pathway, reading number 1, is to get out there. You're bound to feel vulnerable, and it's really helpful, because if you know that this is a really normal experience and a really normal feeling, including those waves of sadness because something didn't work out, then when we feel them, it doesn't mean that we retreat again. It means that we know that those feelings are natural, and therefore we can continue on our pathway forwards. And that is what's being shown here. Reading number 1, I have the most profound respect for you. I'm in awe of the way in which you have regained your ability to start afresh. This is just, I just want to say, you know, this is the stuff of real conscious beings, and having you out in the world will be a guiding light for others. Reading number 1, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm so sorry that happened, but my goodness me, you have become someone who will actually, just by being you're going to lead others, actually. You know, you really are, and you know, you have a part to play in the dawning of a new world, and the experiences you've had that were difficult are part of that contribution, because it's made you who you are today. Reading number 1, just sending you the biggest hugs and my deepest respect, you know, ever. If this reading has resonated and you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, this is a spontaneous reading. It goes into my timeless playlist. Timeless Readings playlist where you can tune in at any time when you have specific questions. And I do post every Sunday as well. So if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, you should get notification of any of my readings. I also give away a free private reading every month and a pack of oracle cards. We haven't used them in the reading today, but these are the ones I give away. And if you'd like to be in that prize draw, it's a subscriber offer, and there's a link in the information box below as well, and the comments, to join my subscriber email list. Once you're on it forever, and my colleague draws the names out of a hat every month, and then I announce them after one of the Sunday readings. Super Souls, just the most heartfelt respect and love to you. Welcome, Super Souls, to reading number 2. You have been drawn by the third eye vision card. It's beautiful feather, which feels like guidance, and the rune of Gateway. Now, the rune of Gateway is really interesting because it asks us to pause. And it asks us to pause, to evaluate, to look back over our experiences, to lean into a space of gratitude for the learning, and then pass through the gateway. So it's it's a significant turning point. And obviously, in this reading today, in the light of the full moon in Sagittarius, the super full moon, we're asking Spirit, what is your next step? So this is really interesting though, because this card actually says reclaim your mind. So there's a need to pause and evaluate, to see something clearly. I'm going to draw a spirit animal guide. Moose Wisdom. Ooh, wow, this is awesome, reading number 2. Okay, so Moose Wisdom. Let your head and mind reach to the stars. Look at that card there as well. Reach to the stars, yet keep your feet grounded on the earth. Listen to the ancient wisdom in your soul. The ancestors speak through you. You know much. Wow. This is really, really interesting, reading number 2. Okay, let's draw some more cards. Gosh. I almost feel like you guys know what your next step is. And yet, for some of you, there's some reticence about taking it. Let's see what we're shown here for reading number 2. What is reading number 2's next step on their pathway? Okay, let's look at these first. Oops. Illuminator, wow. Ooh, wow. 10 of Hearts, culmination. 8 of Stars, surge. Ooh, reading number 2, this is absolutely awesome. Okay. So, you've been working on something. This is when I said I feel like you know what your next step is, but you're a little reticent to take it. You've been working on something, and it's coming to a state of culmination or completion, or some aspect of this is reaching a point of readiness to birth into the world. And it's absolutely the right time to birth this into world. Look at this amazing card. So we have the super full moon in Sagittarius, and here we have the card of culmination. But look how she's lying. I feel that you've worked so hard that you're almost a little bit tired. You've worked so hard, you're a little bit tired. You know, you're wondering if it's almost like, you know, we have that wobble where we think, is this really going to work? Can I really take it forwards? You actually have something really important to share in the world. You have something really important to say. There's some aspect of your journey, something you've been working on. Now, whether it's reached its completion, if you've written a book or a song, or you're making a course, or you're learning something, it's ready to move to the next stage. It's ready to take it forward. I actually feel for some of you, genuinely, you know, you're going to be a mover and a shaker. You're going to be an illuminator. You may actually be a spiritual leader within your own community. You may be a spiritual leader to, not just within your community, for some of you even bigger, with social media and things. It's just, I think you've had a wobble of self-doubt, perhaps just through tiredness, or something else happened that slowed you down a moment. But this is telling you it's time to surge. Your next step is to take this into the world, to know that it's completed. And if you're still like working on like a final edit, then do the final edit. Don't be reticent, don't lose your confidence, do the final edit, because it's time for it to move forwards. Something is absolutely ready. But I would say do the final edit, because we have this card here of Gateway. Gateway always, always, always asks us to pause and reflect. So actually, okay, yes, it is time to take this into the world, but yes, your next step is actually to complete something, to actually do a final edit, go over it one more time before you then surge forwards. Yes, you need to evaluate something, you need to review. It is literally, don't get too tangled in it. But something needs to be brought to a culmination, and then it's moving forward. So there is just a review point first. I feel like we're being shown almost like your next 2 steps, reading number 2. So let's draw some oracle cards. Let's see what we're shown here. I love this. Magical Map Shifter. And the card of Strength. This is birthing stuff into the world. Literally, this is birthing stuff into the world, staying on track, knowing that you can do this. The ancestors speak through you. You know much. This is beautiful, reading number 2. The ancestors speak through you. You know much. Persevere. You have something really important to bring into the world. It needs to reach its little point of culmination. And I can see you're tired. But then it's really, really going to create this surge. Really interesting, the reclaim your mind. This is about staying on track here. Not being knocked off course by any aspect of self-doubt. So reading number 2, let's ask for more information about reading number 2's situation. We can see almost the next 2 steps, but so we know there's a completion. We'll ask about that first. More information about this completion. And then I think what we'll also do is ask, and then about the next step beyond that. How should that be taken forward? Oops, well, that's shown you already. Okay. So, put these to one side. Our first cards. So, okay, we have the 6 of Swords, the Queen of Discs, the Princess of Swords, and the 10 of Discs. Okay, right, let's leave these over here for one moment. So, this is needing to be birthed, it's needing to be completed. And you need to approach it with a clarity of mind, okay? 10 of Discs, I mean, whatever you are working on, this is the pathway to your dreams. Okay, so this is this is going to be that pathway to abundance for you, this project, this idea, this whatever it is. But I think you worry a lot about it. You worry about whether it'll be good enough. I'm seeing the tangling of stuff. For some of you as well, what you're birthing into the world, it may feel like you're really stepping into some quite new territory. You know, being a spiritual leader means that we illuminate things for people. You become a mover and a shaker. But of course, that means that you have new and amazing ideas. You have a different perspective on something. You're able to see something from a different way and give people different tools to work with. But it's quite new, it's quite innovative. And I think that because that energy is around you, that energy of innovation, a part of you is a little bit fearful of being criticized or of being judged. But this needs to be birthed into the world. It's, you know, your contribution is going to, not only is it going to give you the pathway to your own abundance, but it's actually really going to help others as well. The approach with this, your team are saying to you, look, you need to complete this. It's almost as though, I don't think it's come to a standstill. You're working at it, but you do, I'm seeing, get a little maybe, yeah, you just worry about whether it'll be good enough. So, and that hinders you from being able to kind of like do that final edit or to, you know, pull it all together. But it is time to pull it together. And the moment you do, everything is going to surge forwards. So don't be swayed on that pathway. Keep at it, persevere, and, you know, crystal clear in your mind. You know, allow your mind to timetable your day and move things forwards, because this is absolutely right for you. The next step on your journey is to bring this to its sort of to a stage of completion that means it's ready to go into the world. So then we're asking almost like the next stage of this, you know, what is happening then? Now the King of Discs has already shown itself to us. Let's see what else we have. Wow, just look at this, just look at this. Reading number 2. Wow, 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 and more wow. So you have King of Discs. Now this is beautiful because we have the tortoise. So remember, slow and steady wins the race. Okay. You know, 4 of trees, growth, but we have Ace of Cups, we have the Fool, we have 3 of Cups, and we have the Ace of Wands. I mean, this is just such an affirmation for you, reading number 2. You know, slow and steady wins the race. Be meticulous. We know that. Attend to the detail. Everything here is saying review, attend, edit. Be conscientious about this, you know, but the ancestors are speaking through you. This is just so important. What you are bringing into the world is so, so important. It is really going to, it will be a mover and a shaker and an illuminator to others. So, culmination, we know that. Put aside self-doubt. Don't be afraid of criticism. What you are bringing into the world is of real value. And, you know, if you ask 10 different people what they think, you'll get 10 different answers. You can never please all of the people all of the time. What matters is that you are bringing a significant contribution into the world, and it is going to help a lot of people. You know, within your immediate community, the learning that is going to those people will then radiate out to others. And honestly, for some of you, I think this is really quite big. So, slow and steady. Be meticulous. It's going to happen. It's going to open up the world. Just be steady in your work. Ace of Cups. I mean, this is going to emerge. It's going to emerge. It is going to bring about those new beginnings. You will need, it's going to feel like, so you will need to take a risk. It's going to feel like you take a risk when you then launch it. It's like putting together a course, putting it out there and wondering if it's going to, whether anyone will buy it. Or anyone will even see it. You know, it's that kind of stuff. But get ready to launch. When you launch, it's going to feel like you're taking a risk, but my goodness me, it's going to pay off. You're going to see quite quickly, you're not going to see the end results straight away in terms of the major abundance, but you're going to see results pretty quickly. It's going to be well received. 3 of Cups, celebration. And my goodness me, it is literally going to open a pathway that is going to take you to that 10 of Discs, to that space of, you know, dreams that were bigger than you could possibly have believed. You know, it's like if you've put together a book proposal, for example, you know, be meticulous, edit, re-edit, slow and steady, wins the race, be meticulous, be careful. And yes, just don't have any self-doubt. Stop worrying about what other people will think, you know, send it out there to a publisher or an agent or something. It will come, even if you initially, the first one doesn't take it. Remember, this is something that's quite got its own sort of niche in a way, so you're going to find the right avenue. The moment you do, this is going to surge, it's going to open up. You're going to get that, yes, we want to publish this book, for example, and that's going to then open that pathway. And yes, there's still going to be work to be done, but my goodness me, those doorways will open. So I feel like you're being shown 2 steps in this reading in terms of the next step on your journey. One is the evaluation, the meticulous, steady looking at things and actually making sure it's absolutely right, and then going for it, opening that door, sending it to 10 different publishers. I'm using this as an example, but you know what I mean. Approaching 10 different companies with your idea, you know, looking at 10 different options for advertising. It's like whatever you do, you'll find the right one, and you will get definitely, in terms of feedback, we're looking at celebration here, 3 of Cups. So you're going to see some results, some early results pretty quickly, I think, here. And those results are going to open up a pathway that will go it's just going to take you further and further, you know, along that road of dreams. Reading number 2. I cannot tell you how excited I am for you. Reclaim your mind. Don't let the doubts and the fears get in the way. Because this is really, really happening, and you have something absolutely amazing to bring into the world that is just going to be not only your own route to happiness, but just help and illuminate the pathway for others as well. Oh, I am just so thrilled and so excited for you, reading number 2. I mean, really, really, this is just the stuff of magic. So, hard work as well, though. I'm just going to say hard work, praise where it's deserved, hard work, and then the magic. So reading number 2, I'm going to wrap up this reading now. If this has resonated with you and you've enjoyed my readings today, if you would like to get notification as soon as I post any, I mean, this is a spontaneous reading. I'm just doing it today because it's the full moon. So if you'd like to get notification, and I do post every single Sunday as well, do subscribe and press the little bell icon. That way they should come into your stream. I give away a free private reading every single month. I announce the winners. It's like a prize draw, and also a pack of oracle cards. These ones, we didn't use them today in the reading. If you want to be in that prize draw, it's a subscriber offer, and I have a subscriber email list. And once you're on the list, you're in it forever. My colleague draws the names out of a hat every month. So, and I announce them after one of the Sunday readings. So guys, I'll put the link to that in the information box as well, and in the comments too. So super souls, just oh wow, I mean, I am rooting for you. Do that last bit of work. You're on the last stretch, and it is so going to be worth it. Tons and tons and tons of love. Welcome, reading number 3, Super Souls. You've chosen the Tree of Life, Emotional Challenges, and the Rune of Initiation. This card also says resolve the issue. With the Tree of Life, I feel like this is going to get sorted. So whatever emotional challenges around you, I do feel it's going to get resolved, and you're going to grow from it. Let's have a look and see. I'm going to draw a spirit animal guide first. And pronghorn action. Let's show this to you. This is interesting because we're asking what is the next step on your journey. Now is the time to act. Opportunities are here. Move forwards with confidence. Your talent will always help you land on the pinnacle. Your quick wit and keen senses will lead you to success. Okay, so the energy around you. already in terms of your next step is for you to initiate some sort of action. Okay, whatever your situation, whatever the situation you're asking about, in today's full moon readings, you are being asked to take action. The opportunity is right for you. And we have growth here, resolution and growth. Let's draw from one of the tarot packs and see what we are shown for reading number 3. So reading number 3, what is reading number 3's next step on their pathway? Adventurer. Ooh, that's very interesting. Okay. Adventurer. Queen of Hearts, Sixth Sense. Seven of Angels, Progress. And Three of Angels, Clarification. Okay, that's nice. That's really nice, reading number 3. Okay. Whatever is causing you, giving you grief, that's just what I'm going to say, reading number 3. Whatever's giving you grief, it is going to shift. Okay, so I really first of all want to offer you that reassurance through your spirit team here. You're going to find clarification. Things will become clear. You're going to see where you're going here. Intuitively, you're actually going to, I think, find your way through this, which is really, really interesting. Initiation. This is like a rite of passage. Pronghorn action. Now is the time to act. Opportunities are here. Move forwards with confidence. The card of adventure, Knight of Stars with Pronghorn. I do feel it's really important for you to initiate something, to take a step, you know, to move something forwards. I'm going to ask for more information here for reading number 3, I think, about, you know, what is this step that they need to take? Because there's a lot of reassurance. This is in the first instance, I feel, that we're just being given reassurance. We're being told things will progress, you will find clarity, and intuitively you can find your way through this. It's almost as if, you know, whatever's taken place in your world, reading number 3, it's almost as if you lost touch with your self-belief briefly. I want to say briefly. You know, for some of you it might be bigger than that, but it feels like, well, let's just draw more cards before I say any more. So, I'd actually oracle cards first, I think, and then we'll draw tarot. So we're asking for information around reading number 3's situation. First of all, I'm going to ask, before we then ask about clarification for the next steps. So let's ask for a little bit more information about reading number 3's circumstances. Okay. Okay. Commitment. Encouragement. Oh, this is just so nice. Oh, unexpected visitors and wide open. Okay. Okay. Right. This is really interesting because I feel like part of the emotional challenge has been to commit to a course of action. Now, whether that is in connection to, I'm not necessarily being given a clarity as to what that is, but this is a general reading, so, you know, it will apply to an aspect of your world. But it's been really difficult for you to hold a course of action, and I think there's been a lot of ruminating going on here. A lot of procrastinating a little bit as well, a feeling of being afraid to take a risk. Now this reading is encouraging you. This reading is really, really encouraging you to see things that are unexpected as opportunities. Sixth sense, Queen of Hearts. In a way, I want to say that your reading number 3, what I feel is you have been quite emotionally open and quite emotionally vulnerable. Something happened that caused you to feel quite raw in some way, shape or form. You were wide open, okay? And the result of that has been that I think you felt, because you feel vulnerable, it's felt quite difficult to take those steps forwards, to take a risk, to commit to something. There's just fear around this. But actually, you are being encouraged to trust that when something unexpected happens, or someone unexpected comes into your world, there's actually purpose to it. Okay, I'm going to place these cards up here and make a little bit more room for us for a moment. So we have commitment, we have encouragement. I hope this is going to be okay and you can see everything. Yeah, we can see enough, can't we? Yeah, you were wide open. I mean, in a way, I want to say you are wide open. I think part of what's coming across here, reading number 3, in your situation, is that you are wide open. You're very emotionally sensitive at the moment. And that sensitivity is quite natural, that there's been stuff going on that is just basically an unexpected stuff. Things have just happened unexpectedly and you've been feeling just ultra sensitive. Now, sensitivity actually is a real gift in the world. You know, we need more sensitive people because actually the world would be much nicer. We'd all be nicer to each other if we were all sensitive. But actually, sometimes if you're sensitive and you're in a world where not everybody around you is, you can end up just becoming feeling increasingly challenged, really, ongoing. And so, but it's time to take action and to step into the world, to become that adventurer here. You know, we're being given encouragement here. You actually, and this is where we need to speak about sensitivity in a really important way, because sensitivity is actually a gift. In my counselling practice, I worked as a counsellor for over 28 years, an accredited counsellor. And I used to say to people, you know, if who I was working with, look, if you're really sensitive, you need to learn to manage your sensitivity, because in one way it's a gift because you can pick up on everything, but you also need to learn how to interpret those, that, you know, when to sort of like protect yourself, and also how to interpret that and use that sensitivity as a gift, because it is a gift. You have profound intuition. It's an amazing gift. But actually, if we're feeling raw and vulnerable, that can alter our perspective, and it can alter the way that we interpret that sixth sense. Now, you are wide open at the moment. I'm really seeing this. You're emotionally sensitive. So what we're going to ask for is further guidance as to what are your next steps. Can we be given guidance and advice as to how, reading number 3, what are their next steps? What should they be doing, or how can they support themselves? Because in one way, there's lots of reassurance here saying, look, progress will come, trust your intuition, you're going to know what to do. And yet, you know, it's time to, you know, make a commitment to a course of action, not procrastinate, be encouraged to move forwards, see unexpected situations as opportunities. And yet, you know, all of this reassurance is here. And it says here, you know, again, your quick wit, keen senses, very important, sensitivity will lead you to success. And yet I do feel that you know, there's been anxiety about moving forwards. So we're going to ask for more information for reading number 3 about their next steps. Okay, 7 of Swords. 2 sevens. Okay, so 7 of swords and 7 of discs. This is all about a turning point, choices. You know, the sevens often offer us turning points, choices, decisions to be made. You have the Hermit, and you have the 5 of swords. And I'm just going to pick these up and move them up a tiny bit, so I hope that we can get 2 layers in. Okay, we have Judgment. You see that? Queen of Wands. Oh, this is lovely. 8 of Cups, Princess of Discs. Okay, this is lovely. Okay, so we are being given reassurance again. Okay, reading number 3. There's a ton of reassurance. Your spirit team are really wanting to say to you, look, I know you're kind of worrying about things, but you know, this is going to work out. You know, this is going to happen. It's time to move into the world. It's time to kind of, you know, make a commitment to your course of action. Now, whatever that is for you, you'll know what that is, I think, because this is, you know, these are general readings, so you need to apply them to your own situation. But whatever it is, there is a course of action that you have been deliberating about, okay? We have the Judgment card sitting under the 7 of Swords. You know, you're fearful of getting it wrong, or fearful that it won't work out. And you're being told here, well, look, you know, there is no wrong or right answer here, because when you go and try something, that if you try something on for size, that's how you discover whether it's right or wrong for you. You've kind of got to make that step. And this reading feels like it's very much reading number 3 about overcoming some aspect of procrastination and making a commitment. You're being encouraged to take those steps forwards. If a door opens for you, you know, take a look through it, take a peek at the magic that might be behind it. So you have a decision to make here. And, you know, there's a sense of being encouraged to make that choice, knowing that you are able to, you're going to be able to navigate this. It's like trust that your sensitivity will guide you, okay? Your sensitivity is a major tool. It can leave you feeling really vulnerable, but at the same time, it allows you to test the waters and see whether something feels right or not. So it's like learning to use your sensitivity as a gift and honoring that gift. Now, there's more than one course of action here. I think there's more than one opportunity. I would just say as well, now this is a timeless reading. It's one of my spontaneous readings. I'm just doing these today because it's the full moon. It will be in a timeless, I'm creating a timeless playlist of readings. In that playlist, there are, I'm building it all the time. There are readings like with, you know, is it a yes or a no answer? How will this situation pan out? You can find readings there that answer specific questions. So if you're having a wobble and you're needing a little bit of encouragement, you know, in order to commit to a pathway or a choice, you know, check in on that timeless playlist, because you're going to be able to find readings that actually support you in making that decision. And take your time as well. You know, if we ask lots of other people what we should do, you know, sometimes if we're having a wobble because we're feeling a bit sensitive, we think, I know, I'll ask a friend. And the trouble is, if you ask, you know, friend, family, whatever, that's lovely, because, you know, there's lots of encouragement around you. But if you ask 10 different people, you'll actually get 10 different answers, because those 10 people are all going to tell you what they would do if they were in your situation. But that's what's right for them. It's not necessarily what's right for you. So ultimately, this is really sort of saying, it's almost like the next step on your journey is to start making decisions for yourself, not relying on others, making decisions for yourself in order to develop your ability to trust your sensitivity. Okay, reading number 3. Your sensitivity is a gift if you learn to use it. Okay. And yes, you're quite wide open. I really feel that. But you know, again, you can retreat, the hermit. You can take time for yourself in order to, but retreating isn't running away and sitting in a safe zone. Retreating is, you know, coming home and having a quiet evening in order to recuperate so that we are ready to go back into the world the day after. It's time for you to step through some kind of a doorway, you know, to sail into the sunset, to find that new horizon. Okay. And as you do, the way will become clear. Again, decisions, decisions. 5 of Swords here. Princess of Discs. You know, success is coming. It's like, for me, this is you holding your own. You're going to find clarity. You will find clarity of direction. There's just everything surrounding this reading number 3 says you're very sensitive, you're very emotionally sensitive. You have a choice or a decision to make, or there's more than one choice, more than one pathway. And it's almost as if you're getting so bogged down in the worry and the concern, and that it's increasing your sensitivity and leaving you more and more worried about stepping into the world. It is time to take action and make a decision, knowing that your sensitivity is actually the thing that will serve you, because you'll be able to navigate anything and everything. And yes, there may be more than one direction to go in, but actually you're going to find your way through this. You know, the clarity will come. It really, really will. There's so much reassurance here. It's definitely time to step forward, to make a commitment to yourself, trust the unexpected, and learn to navigate your sensitivity as an asset. It's a beautiful reading 3. I'm going to draw a few more cards here for you guys. I'm going to draw from an Angel Answers pack. Okay, helpful people, and we have the card of No. Take action. Trust. Okay, meditation brings answers. So, first of all, helpful people. You know, I think this is just fascinating. I'm just going to hold these 2 cards up together and just tell you exactly the message that's coming through from here. I mean, helpful people tells us that there are helpful people around us, and that's super lovely. But actually, I just said to you, you know, if you ask 10 different people what they would do, you're going to get 10 different answers. I feel like you have a ton of people around you who perhaps would like to help. But actually, this is a time where you've got to do this for yourself. You've got to make this decision for yourself. You've got to choose to step into the world, to take action. It's not about other people, it's about you. This reading is about encouraging you to overcome procrastination, to make decisions for yourself, and to know that there is no wrong choice, because whatever you do, you're going to navigate your way through it and grow from the experience. It's definitely time for you to take action and for you to trust that it's going to be okay. And I love the meditation brings answers, because it's like the opposite of helpful people. I'm not saying helpful people aren't helpful and lovely, because they are. But this reading is really, really saying, look, you need to make a decision and a choice and commit to something for yourself. It's no good procrastinating, you know. Look at that, the candle has just burned out. I find that really interesting, because there's a sort of a real sense of, right, it's time that a certain situation stops and that you make the choices that are right for you. And it's in meditation. You know, we have the Hermit just sitting here as well. You know, above, we have the Hermit here above the 8 of Cups. And I said, you know, retreat, come back home and recuperate, meditate, rather than pushing and pushing and pushing yourself. But actually, it's those pockets of retreat are for replenishment, recuperation, meditation, you know, over and above, you know, the new horizons. So this is just, it's not the hermit needs to not be a permanent space of safety. It needs to be somewhere where you literally come home and you know, or create a space of meditation every day, and then you move into the world. So this reading is really clear, reading number 3. Meditation brings answers, and you're going to succeed here. Clarity is going to come to you, even if you worry a little bit about it, and even if there are further choices that show themselves to you. You know, sometimes when we walk through one door, then you see 5 more, but it's fine. Your sensitivity is an asset, and it's about learning to manage that. Now, Super Souls, I just want to say a couple of things. So I have a free online library. I may have mentioned it, but I don't think I have. www.azemotionalhealth.com. Now, this is a resource to help with emotions. And there is just a ton of stuff on there to help to understand and learn about your emotions as a source of empowerment. You know, and you know, literally as an asset rather than a disability. I wrote a book as well called Mindfulness Meets Emotional Awareness, which will teach you the language of your emotions, particularly the challenging ones. That's one of the best ways to learn to navigate your sensitivity, is to learn how to understand your emotions as a source of empowerment. So Super Souls, if this reading has resonated with you and you'd like to get notification as soon as I post anything, I post every week on Sundays, and I do these spontaneous readings that go in the Timeless playlist. If you subscribe and press the little bell icon, they should come into your stream. And I give away as well a free private reading every month and a pack of these oracle cards. We haven't used them today in your reading, but I announce the winners. This is a subscriber offer. I announce the winners every month after one of the Sunday readings, and my colleague draws the names out of a hat. I have a subscriber email list, so I'll put that in the information box and the comments too. Once you're on it permanently. So reading number 3, I just want to give you the biggest hug ever. This is a turning point for you, whereby you are moving into a space where you learn that your sensitivity is an amazing tool. And yeah, it is time for you to make a commitment to you. And yeah, that is the guidance, the next step on your pathway, to make a commitment to you and to step out of that safe zone, and yeah, and begin to take actions that support the things that you really want to do. Tons and tons and tons of love, reading number 3. I am just sending you all the love in the world.